Good day everyone, I'm Justin Joseph from ProjectCoe.com, and today I'll be reviewing the multi-platform shooter Turok, so let's not waste any time. Okay, so Turok basically takes you through the mostly uninspiring story of the series trademark dinosaur hunting Indian as he works with a strangely named military squad called Whiskey Company as they hunt down his former Wolfpack mentor and war criminal Kane. And the reason we say uninspired is because the game never really draws you into any kind of plot or emotional twists and turns. You're really just on the planet to kill a lot of stuff, and well, you do just that. Nonetheless, the engine for the actual shooter mechanics is actually pretty well executed for the aging dual analog setup. I mean, the sensitivity can be adjusted, and it definitely helps when it comes to controlling the game and enjoying it as a result. And the guns are extremely fun to use, despite the somewhat lack of variety. My favorites were the RPG, you know, the rocket launcher, the pulse rifle, the sticky bomb gun, and a couple others. But what really adds to the experience with these weapons is the fact that each one comes with a secondary function. So, you know, like the shotgun has a flare that you can launch to distract the dinosaurs that inhabit the planet. It's just a lot of fun to mess with the enemies in a whole sorts of different ways. But unfortunately, a lot of stuff brings down the campaign. There's just a slew of unfortunate design choices. The first of which is the stupid AI. That pretty much entails all the Wolfpack soldiers that you encounter during the campaign, and it's frustrating because they often come in waves, which really makes it tough to defend yourself or properly take cover. Another is the total lack of being able to sprint. You're basically just speed walking the whole time, even if you just have your knife in hand, which kind of makes it awkward whenever you're so used to being able to do it in Call of Duty 4. And also, the lack of checkpoints and their sometimes odd placement might make you repeat whole chapters over from the very beginning, which is obviously very frustrating. And another thing is the dinosaurs. They knock you on your behind way too much, which sort of makes you lose your bearings because whenever you get up, you face a completely different direction than what you were facing. And if there's a lot of dinosaurs in the area in this kind of situation, you're pretty much as good as dead. But worst of all is the absolute overall lack of firepower. I mean, come on. When it takes 5 shotgun shells or 20 assault bullets just to take down one person, come on, there's something seriously up with that, and it sort of kills the illusion of you being, you know, a warrior that is supposed to have all these insanely powerful guns. I mean, you should probably remember those from previous Turok games, but that's just not the case here, and it's kind of unfortunate. But, you know, not all is bad. You know, the visuals are actually very nice, although they might not be too good in some of the areas. But in all seriousness, the open environments, they're absolutely beautiful, despite the overall linear fashion of the game. And the characters, they're okay. The models are very decent. It's kind of odd that they look kind of shiny during cutscenes and sort of have a little bit of muddy detail in terms of their overall design, but you know, they look human and they look convincing. The internal areas, although, are not exactly great, and that especially, you know, deals with the caves. They're a little too pitch black for my liking, even though it makes sense for them to be dark inside, and they definitely suffer from much worse jaggy and muddy textures as the outside world does. But overall, the overall presentation is very nicely done, and that also extends to the effects. They're definitely wonderful, whether that extends to your guns blazing or explosives going boom. It's just very pleasing to see the special effects in this game. So even though there's a lot of nuances in the graphics, it's just Turok is a very nice looking game overall. And the same kind of goes for the music and weapon effects. They're definitely quality, but it's just strange that they sounded muffled, almost as if they were being smothered and wanting to desperately bust out so you could really hear the real deal. I mean, it's kind of tough to explain on that note, so you kind of have to experience that firsthand to get a better understanding as to what I'm talking about. But other than that, the dialogue, which is obviously spoken through the various conversations and cutscenes, is just very humanistic, despite all the corn that you're going to hear. But it's just, it lends a very convincing and realistic tone to the game. And finally is the online multiplayer, and it's actually surprisingly enjoyable, mainly because it's more or less a level playing field for most gamers that decide to take part in it. And the reason I say that is because the developers sort of implemented an arcade style kind of play to it. And knifing, which is also a part of it, is kind of tacky because you can't really avoid it, but it is kind of tactical for anyone that does use it, because you can't hear anyone's movement in the game, so you never really know when to possibly expect someone coming up from behind. Other kind of things to note here is that everybody can be heard through the voice chat, which is very interesting, given that I'm so used to sort of the private environments of Call of Duty 4 online. And the modes that are offered are your standard death matches, capture the flag, and various others. But it's also really nice that customization is so vast, and that'll definitely appeal to pretty much anybody that likes this type of service in a first-person shooter. And it's also pretty cool that there are 3 co-op maps that you can take part in with 3 other people. Just would have been nice if there were more, because 3 isn't all that much, and co-op is definitely very appealing in most shooters nowadays, especially in this generation. But it's still nice that it's offered. So with all this in mind, with the good shooter mechanics despite the somewhat uninspiring campaign and the really good online multiplayer service, Project COE decided to give this game a 7.5 out of 10, which isn't too bad. Obviously, it could have been worse, but it could have been a lot better, but we'll take it as is. So if you want more information, please view my text review, which will be going live on the site sometime within the next couple days. And hopefully you enjoy what I brought to the table, as always. And thank you for your time, guys, and hopefully you enjoy the game if you play it.